How can I build resilience in my kids while managing my own stress? What up, guys? I'm Will Mosley. I've been parenting for 11 years. I have 5 boys, soon to be a 6th in March. We've pretty much just been doing business or helping businesses for the past 10, 11, 12, 13 years now, helping $1 million businesses make more millions. I'm now self-employed, own my own marketing web agency, and I care so deeply about parenting and business and in self-development. Since I think probably the age of 12, since my mom passed, I've always been thinking about how can I improve myself, how can I build myself up, how can I be a better parent, how can I be a better business operator. And so those are the things that if you're anything like me, welcome to the channel. Love to have you here. I'm excited to get into our topic today. Before we begin, 98% of you guys are not yet subscribed that watch this channel regularly. So if you can do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. The goal is 50%, and I'll continue to make this show better and better and better. So let's jump into our topic at hand. How can I build resilience in my kids while managing my own stress? So I think a lot of this actually comes down to education. Okay, resilience is the ability to something happens and you are able to say, okay, that happened, let me get back up. It's perseverity through the hard times, through the struggles, through all the stuff. Being able to physically get up and say, let's go, and mentally be able to get up and say, let's go. Keeping your energy in check, all that stuff. And as a father or as a parent, you continuously have to be resilient throughout the day, throughout every day. And some days you're not feeling it, and to juggle doing that for yourself, the stress of doing that for yourself, but also for your kid, that's double duty. It can feel like a lot. And I think I felt like I had some shortcomings over the past year where I was trying to be really resilient and work a lot so that, get the finances up, get the security up, reduce the burn rate, all that stuff. And I was missing out on a lot of family time, right? I felt as though I was dropping the ball on family time. Felt like I was dropping the ball on, my marriage, as far as giving good quality, good time. But I had the stress of being okay, I need to be resilient in the work that I do because this is worth the sacrifice so that they're okay. And I realized now that that was actually not maybe the best way to go about doing things. Because a lot of times as parents, we lead by example. And so anything that we're doing right now, most times our kids adopt that. They either, whether they run away from it or they bring it in, we're always impacting the way that our kids are going to be in the future. And so me being out on the road all the time, working the business, all that stuff, it was good in a sense that it's okay, dad needs to go out and work, this is kind of what what it is, make sure that we provide for our family, all that stuff, teaching about kind of what work looks like. But at the same time, I wasn't showing them what it was for because when I would get home, I'd be super de-energized, I'd be tired, all that stuff. I'm sure you can relate. And I realized that being resilient isn't just enough in your work. You have to be resilient in all aspects of your life. Whether you're working out, with your kids, with your marriage. So every day you get up and you bring the energy, okay? And it can be very hard when you're out on the road and working or doing whatever it is in your office work, and you've been working a full long day, and then you get home and you have to reset your energy. You have to be able to find the energy in you to give that to your kids, because it's not fair that they get low energy or not enough energy. And yes, we have those times where like, I can't do it. But we don't want that to be every single day or majority. We want to show up like, hey, what's up, kids? Let's go. Let's do this. It's dad class time, let's make it happen. And resilience, I think, has a lot to do with that, with your mind and your body. You have time, and you have energy, and you have focus. Okay, all three of those are really, really important. And so, for instance, we trade our time for energy. Okay, when we sleep and say, I'm going to sleep 6 hours, you're trading 6 hours of your time for a certain amount of energy. Okay, or 8 hours of time for energy. Then what's interesting about that, now that you have a battery, it's like your phone's charged, right? Then you go out into the world, and all throughout the day, as time moves, you're using energy throughout all points of your day. Some people, some things are more draining than others, etc., etc. And so at some point, your energy starts to, you might be high energy, but eventually in time it starts to go down and down and down and down and down. Most people, we either allow our batteries to drain really fast, right? So by like midday, we're just gone because we're around negative people that drain our batteries double as fast. We're doing too much. We're trying to do too many things, and so mentally maybe it's draining us really fast. And all those things, if you don't have a battery by the end of the day, when it's time to hang out with kids and hang out with wife and do stuff for yourself, then you're not going to show up well. So there's a couple ways that we can actually recharge or bring our battery up, our energy up. As you're going through your day, you can take like micro naps. What I've started to do, and this has helped tremendously, is what I'm doing as I'm self-employed or whatever, as I'm running routes or whatever. Roughly, a route might take either 30 minutes to an hour. And so after I do that, I then stop. I then set a timer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on, how much rest I need. And then I just close my eyes and I'm out. And it's not like I get some crazy deep sleep, but it does re-energize me. So that's one way. You continuously can take, at the top of the hour, you can take little 5-minute rest, naps or whatever, that will continue to sustain you and bring back up your energy a little bit. Because if you only got one battery and you don't recharge at all throughout the day, it's going to be very hard to make it to the end. Another part, and this is physical, and this is going to come back to resilience, and we'll talk about the kids in a minute, but you got to have resilience for yourself first before we can bring this to our kids. Being able to give your body the nutrition, the energy that you need nutrition-wise. If you're going through the day and your body does not have any food in it, your energy level is going to drop or spike. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard pressed. And I'm getting better at this too, because I've always been one to be like, I'm good off like one meal a day. I'll have some snacks, whatever. But that's not good advice. It's not a good idea, because if you think about money, right? Time is money, and money is time. And you also trade time for energy, and energy gives you focus or accelerates the leverage of what you can do. All these things are extremely important to balance and look at, because one, if you don't have time, you can't, make money. We all have time, but, sometimes we just spend it on dumb shit. If you don't have the energy, but you still have the time, you're just not going to be effective. It's going to be like you're doing double the work. You might work for 10 hours, but you only got 5 hours of work really done. And that sucks. And then focus, sometimes you may have the energy and you may have the time, but for deep work, if you don't have the focus, you just got like, maybe the kids are running all around, right? Maybe you're like energized. You're like, oh, I got this. I'm good. and you got the time, you're like, I'm good. But you don't got the focus because the kids are running around and you can't then it's the same thing as the energy thing. You're not going to be as effective. So you have to make sure that you are disciplined to balance all these things. And this comes down to resilience. Resilience is, you had a bad day, right? You had a day where you're like, man, that sucked. And you wake up the next day, you're like, you know what? How can I make this better? How can I improve this? Did I get enough sleep? Was I distracted? All these different things. How is my mindset good? Am I educating myself? And I said this at the beginning. A lot comes down to education. I think that with all that, just trying to get to the end of the day, if you do a good job of taking care of yourself throughout the day, throughout your work, and you also feel good about what you're doing, this comes down to I think a lot about education. You're educating your mind. You got all these new ideas, these new things in your head. Like, there's shallow work and then there's deep work, okay? And most of us that do maybe like the self-employment kind of gig work vibes, we're doing a bit of shallow work. It's work like, for Uber or for, Walmart or whatever. It's something that we can do with our hands, but our brain can be completely almost removed from the equation, which is great in a sense. Like, we can autopilot a lot of the stuff that we do, and then mentally we could be doing deep work in our head as we do the shallow work. What I mean by that is, you can be listening to all these books and educating your mind. They can take your money. They could take your house, they could take your car, they could take your job. They can't take your knowledge. So this is a huge investment. Building up your brain, building up what you have inside, being able to strategize. And if you play Magic at all, I make Magic references all the time, you can get a shit hand. You can, you have a couple options in a mulligan, which means you throw it back in, you draw again, but typically you have to start with one less hand or whatever, or one less card or whatever. So you have less opportunities or less resources, whatever. But if you are a very good strategist and you understand how to play Magic, we're all learning how to play this game of life. You can have a shit hand or have a shit start to the day, but if you know how to navigate and strategize, you can still end up winning every day. You don't win every single time, but education is extremely important. I've talked about this in my previous videos, where I've made my own school for myself, where I have about 10 different books that I listen to each day. And this may vary depending on my energy level, right? Sometimes I need a little more fiction and chill, whatever. Sometimes I'm just up, I'm amped. I'm like, let's go. And every hour I switch topics, whether on marriage and parenting and finance, and wealth or whatever, strategy and business and all sorts of good stuff, right? That I can, there's so many things that are universal that cross fields. And so sometimes when you listen to the same stuff, the same podcast, the same person talk about things, it's good because you can get a deep dive of what they're talking about. But then you can go over to a nutritionist or someone that's talking about working out, and some of the concepts translate back over into your business or into your parenting or into your self-development. So that's why I like to have a lot of things that I'm listening to. So you have the deep work that you're doing in your brain all day, and you have the shallow work. So when you are deep in work, you feel good, you feel fulfilled. That energizes you. That gives you energy. It makes you oh shit, I didn't know, whoa, shit. You're just you're ready. And so all these things help build resilience. Because you're I get to get up and I get to learn for 10 hours a day. I know that sounds crazy, but if it's shit that you actually care about, you're I get to get up and listen to my favorite podcast and jam out to Wayne and J. Cole and Big Sean. And then I get to listen to, because Netflix, they have the audio version of a movie or TV show. I get to do all this and I'm getting paid to do it? What the fuck? That is how you keep yourself sustained. And then you take micro naps You take a little like rest every hour. By the time you get to your kids, life's not a drag. Don't get me wrong, there's some times where you're like, fuck, I'm tired. But moreover, you'll have a lot more energy by the end of the day because you gave yourself energy. Sometimes talking to people that they can energize you too. Like I had a conversation with my bro John last night. We talked for like 2.5 hours. Felt like it was an hour. We just talked and chilled and all that stuff on FaceTime. Sometimes you have conversations that are just like draining too. You got to watch out for those because it'll happen. Anyways, I'm going to bring this back to the kids, okay? So, with that, if we take these concepts of time, money, energy, focus, discipline, if we take all these and then we come to our kids and we're like, hey, and they see dad, it's like ready and running, like, damn, dad, how the fuck are you on every day? Every day you show up and we have a good time. Every day we're doing this. And you show up to your wife, right? You're like, okay, what do you need, honey? Let's go. Let's make this happen. You bring your energy, you give your time, because that's what you're doing. You're giving your loved ones your time and your energy, and you're also your focus. You lead by example, and you come to the table with them, and then a lot of times we have these drop-off points, right, with our kids. We're taking them to school, we're picking them up from school. Those are the perfect times to educate your kids on the things that you want to pass down to them. Do not wait till you're dead. Do not wait till they're, adults. Do not wait till all that stuff. I believed all of that. I was like, they'll just learn later. No, that's not a good idea. Take those moments every time. Like, look, listen, guys, I know you guys got the headphones on and you're playing the video games, but guess what? It's dad class right now. Dad class, okay, we're learning about asset generation. We're learning about income generation. Okay, we're learning about, wealth versus riches. Like, we're learning about, like, nutrition. Like, we're learning about all this stuff. And, like, of course, there's the age range of gap of, like, with my kids. But every day I'm going to show up and I'm going to teach them and give them those lessons, that knowledge. And by giving our kids knowledge, we can teach them resilience. By showing up and showing them, like, yo, every day I'm here. Every day I got to work. Every day I got to do these things. But listen, every day I'm here for you. And I think that one gives them resilience and shows them how to have it and how to reach for it. But as far as stress goes, coming back to us, because it's like, how do we teach them without dealing with our stressful self? We're de-stressing ourselves all throughout the day. All throughout the day. Maybe you're doing some sort of shallow work, right? Where you are doing something for your employee or your employer, but you can listen. That's the beauty of this economy right now. Majority of jobs, regardless of where you're at, you can have one ear headphone in, and you can just be educating yourself all the way to the max. That's real shit. All right, that's all I got today on how to teach your kids resilience. I really hope you took something from this. If you enjoyed, just hanging with me, topics like this, we talk about parenting, business, and self-development, the Venn diagram between all of that. If you enjoyed that, stick around. There's so much more that I want to bring to the table for you guys, because I know that parenting is the hardest thing in the world. Starting a business, bro, it's insanity. It's crazy. And improving yourself and saying, I'm going to improve myself, fucking triple as hard. But that's what you guys are doing, and that's why you guys are the fucking GOATs. That's why you guys are going to, like, you're already doing it. It's like Ramit said, a rich life today, a richer life tomorrow. You're already fucking amazing. You're just going to get more amazing. More amazing tomorrow. More love, blah, 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 all that stuff. All right, another video popping up on the screen right now that is just like this one. Let's keep on going. Take care, guys. Bye.